trying to answer at the other end. Lundy, the long rebound for Winter.
And that's another thing you have to deal with. They're shooting so many threes, there's going to be some long rebounds.
You saw Dorsey, ball screen for Pickett. Tyson tried to knock it away, intended for Miles Dredd. Last touch by the Nittany Lions, says Jeffrey Anderson.
Wes, and this has been a problem for the Tigers so far. Pickett gets the ball out at the top of the key and then just dribbles it. He turns. Nobody's coming to help because of their three-point shooting. Tigers are going to have to figure something out there.
Getting our first look at Clemson and Dylan Hunter in the ball game. There's Hemingway, a catch-and-shoot three off the top. Back-to-back triples for the junior Hemingway.
And when Hemingway can get in that position, Wes, and catch with a little bit of room and shoot it, he is a very dangerous three-point shooter.
So both schools have gotten into the bench. Ben Middlebrooks, wearing 10, defends Dorsey on the perimeter for Clemson. He replaced Hall a moment ago.
The whole side is clear.
Here's Lundy with 6 to shoot against Hemingway. Trying to size him up. Drives and scores.
Wow.
Nice strong move by the senior from Paulsboro, New Jersey, Seth Lundy, who's averaging 16 points and 7.5 rebounds in the last 2 ball games for Penn State. Hemingway, another one. Back rim missed that time. 5-point lead, and Penn State's kicking up the tempo a little bit. Lundy misses on the 3, and Hunter goes to the deck, digs it out, and Lundy commits the foul.
Clemson very fortunate to get that ball back. Hemingway did not block out Lundy.
First on Lundy, second on Penn State. Winter will come out of the ball game, as will Lundy for the Nittany Lions.
And Lundy's going to pick up the foul because this isn't football. You can't jump on top of the guy.
You sure?
I'm positive.
We didn't change that rule?
Well, that's been a point of emphasis for a couple of years now,
yeah,
where guys can't just jump in the pile.
Middlebrooks at the top. There's Tyson, who's been quiet offensively.
And so far, the Penn State defense has done a great job keeping Clemson out of the middle and away from the lane.
Look at Middlebrooks try to spin. Dorsey reached in, knocked it away. Here's Pickett with the Tiger turnover, their 3rd. And a 5-point lead. Pickett, bounce pass for Dorsey.
Boy, great recovery by Middlebrooks.
Miles Dredd on the bounce. Now back for Dredd and a 3. And the rebound for Galloway.
Wes, Dredd has only attempted 1 2-point shot on the season. He's out there to shoot 3.
And no free throws, by the way. Galloway and gets the roll. 5 for Brevin Galloway. Clemson to within 3.
Wow, it's a really good response by the Tigers. They were struggling.
Here's Pickett all the way through. Kicks it back out front. 3 ball from Funk. He gets knocked down. And there'll be free throws coming for Andrew Funk on the Hemingway foul. His first. That'll be the second on the Tigers.
Well, Galloway has shown that he's willing to drive the ball to the basket. This is a tough shot. You know, that's one of those things, if you're a defender, you just tip your hat to the guy.
So here's Andrew Funk. These are his first free throws of the year, Dan.
Well, this is a team that comes in, Wes, making only 7 free throws per game. They don't shoot free throws. They were 337th last year in the NCAA in free throws. I mean, when you stand outside and shoot threes, unless you're going to get fouled like he did on the 3-point shot, it's hard to get fouled.
First point for Funk. Don't forget the coverage of the 24th annual ACC-Big 10 Challenge presented by Continental Tire continues tonight at 9:30 from Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor. Number 3 Virginia and Michigan tonight. And Funk only got 1 of the 3. The game on ESPN and always available for you on the ESPN app. 4-point lead. Ian Shefflin's coming to the ball game. Brad Brownell's dipped into his depth. Here's Tyson, and we get a foul call by Lee Cassell, and I think it's on Dredd, and it will be on Miles Dredd. Timeout on the floor here at Clemson. Penn State by 4. Going to the break, a foul on Miles Dredd.
Well, you get your money's worth, and the interesting thing about that is since Hunter Tyson was already in his shooting motion, had that ball gone in, that shot would have counted. So a break for the Nittany Lions. Miles Dredd, if you're going to foul somebody, foul him, and he did.
Tigers have hit 3 of their last 4 to draw to within 4. And the ball after the marker on Dredd. Here's Dylan Hunter, and this is Shefflin for 3. Back rim miss and scooped up by Funk.
Shefflin, he hadn't taken very many. He's 2 for 5 coming in, so he can shoot the 3. And that may be something that the Tigers' big guys are going to have to do, because the Penn State interior defense has been solid.
Mahaffey on the floor, wearing 12 for the Nittany Lions. He joins Funk. Jai has returned along with Pickett. Johnson out there too, another freshman for Coach Shrewsbury. And now we get a whistle. And a shot clock malfunction here at Littlejohn. It says 20. That's not possible.
Well, there's no.
Ron Groover's going to award the bench for both teams while they work on the timing issue. While we get a break, remind you the 24th annual ACC-Big Ten Challenge continues tomorrow night, Dan. I don't know if you've heard Ohio State and Duke are going to play.
And I hear Indiana and North Carolina are going to play.
Yes, they are at Assembly Hall. The Cameron Indoor game starts at 7:15, and then the Hoosiers and Tar Heels will be at 9:15 Wednesday night on ESPN. And always streaming live on the ESPN app. Both are Sonic blockbusters, and I should say so.
They are.
And it brings us to this conversation here about this challenge. It was announced yesterday. This is the final year of the ACC-Big Ten Challenge. Big Ten has won the last 3. They tied 7-all in 2018. The ACC has not won the the challenge since 2017 when they won it 11-3. And Dan, there is that idea when this was formulated in the late 90s that this was going to benefit the NCAA tournament. And while that is subjective at times, it is a fact. It is going to help build the resume of these respective leagues.
Well, and that's what they're trying to do. That's what the whole purpose is, give you an opportunity to build your resume. Over the last couple of years, right, Wes, you're right, the Big Ten teams, and not because they've won the challenge, by a large margin, but they've done a better job in the non-conference season building the resume for all the teams in the league. And that's where the ACC has struggled. And the ACC, again, Wes, this year so far, they have not done a good job playing against ranked teams. So here's some opportunities for the conference to win a couple of games that would really help the resume, not only of the teams that win, but of the conference as a whole.
You and I were talking before the game. The ACC only has 2 wins against ranked competition in non-conference play. Both of them belong to Virginia.
Yeah, and what were they last year? Like something
4 and 14.
4 and 14. Yeah. See, the problem here is the clock reset to 20 as if there was a shot and Penn State recovered the ball. The shot clock was actually down, I think, very low. And so it's a good job by Ron Groover, the official, noticed it, that the shot clock simply reset. And I don't know whether somebody bumped something or it's just a mechanical malfunction.
So what they're doing is they're using the replay system that has become a part of the college game to go back and look at, because they have the ability to look at shot clock, game clock, right? And
to
they
try
can
to figure out how much,
subtract it off the possession.
Right, to figure out how much time is left on the shot clock. The other thing they have to look at is to make sure the game clock's okay.
That's right.
But I think the game clock's fine. They're just trying to figure out how much time is left.
So while Micah Shrewsbury huddles up with his group, so you keep an eye on this here. 28 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock.
Oh, everything's stopped. Everything's stopped.
Manually they have to go through and do it now.
Now they got to figure it out.
Right. How much longer did they play? Well, that's why they have a stopwatch at the table.
Right. Now, if they wanted to, Wes, we could count Mississippi's for them.
I think they got a little bit better opportunity than that. So 11-11 to go, which means there's 4 to shoot.
4 seconds on the shot clock.
4 on the shot clock. So they had to manually go back and do it with the literal stopwatch. And
so they didn't count Mississippi?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, they actually had some technology.
Technology,
yeah.
All right.
So 4 to shoot for Penn State, who's got a 4-point lead. And
do we consider a stopwatch to be technology?
Old technology. Pickett to put it in play. Here's Funk working on Hunter. Little runner will be short. And the rebound for Galloway. Galloway with Chase Hunter. Here's Brevin, tried to kick it out, and he's called for a travel by Jeffrey Anderson. Turnover number 2 on the Tigers.
Wes, so far, I'm really impressed with the way Penn State is able to stay in front of these dribblers. Their defense against the ball, cutting down on the penetration has been really good.
Here is Pickett with Dylan Hunter and a lob. Jai couldn't hang on to the lob, tried to keep it alive. It hit the end line. It'll belong to the Tigers. I like the idea, but Keba Jai, this outstanding young freshman from Centerville, Ohio, playing about 13 minutes a ball game for Micah Shrewsbury, just couldn't finish the back end of the lob.
Yeah, just not able to catch it, and you can see the Clemson defense pushing out against the 3, so creating some opportunities inside.
Galloway working on Funk. On the drive, Jai slapped it off the window.
Galloway's really trying to push it in there, Wes. That looked like a force to me.
Here is Pickett grinding on the backs. Kicks it in the corner. Johnson launches and hits. That's a 3.
And again, it's Pickett who creates that whole thing. Gets down in the corner, forces the defender to come and help out, and then he just dumps it, and that's a really quick release on that 3-point shot.
5th 3 of the year for Dalian Johnson. Lead back to 7. Hunter misfires. Shefflin the rebound. Second chance for the Tigers. It's Tyson. Hunter working on the drive against Johnson. Soft fall away. No good, and saved by Johnson.
Clemson's missed a couple like that, Wes.
Mahaffey on the drive. Scoops, and it bounced away. Chase Hunter into the front court. Clemson's leading scorer is scoreless. And remains that way. Tyson fished it around. Shefflin recovers and scores.
His development, he does a great job shooting the 3. Good heavens, he shoots 60%
this season. He
% overall, but it's his passing and his defensive ability that has really helped key this Clemson ball club.
Tell you what, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Here, in terms of his development, he does a really the first rotation that shoot 38% or better from beyond the 3-point arc.
Shefflin the lob. This is R.J. Godfrey to work with the right hand. The young freshman Godfrey, his 8th field goal of the season.
Now he put Wiggins in the game, and at 6'10", jumping up and down there in the corner. Moving your feet.
And the shot rolled off the iron. Michael Henn, by the way, has played at 5 schools in 5 years. He's 21st century college basketball. Spot up by Hunter, too strong. Rebounded, pulled away by Kanye Clary, a freshman from the Tidewater area, Virginia Beach. He'll leave it for Henn. He'll launch from the front. P.J. Hall will clear it.
That's Henn's first miss from 3 this year.
Yep. Was 2 of 2 and perfect from the floor, but he's missed his last 2. How about P.J. Hall? Another 3.
One of the reasons Penn State interior defense has been so good is their big guys are dropping off the Clemson post players, and Hall just made him pay for it twice.
Tied at 21 now. Tigers on an 8-0 run. There's Clary, forces up the layup and scores.
It's really a nice job by Clary getting that ball up over Hall.
23-21. Godfrey for Dylan Hunter. Tried to bounce it to Hall, and we get a kick, and we'll get a timeout. P.J. Hall has given the Tigers a pair of threes here, Dan. But Penn State with a 2-point lead. Hey, don't forget more college basketball for you coming up Thursday night. A pair of games featuring Big 12 and Big East teams. First one's a top 7 matchup. Boy, how about McDermott and Creighton, Dan? And number 2, Texas. Both schools off to terrific starts here in the first month and change of the season. And then at 9 o'clock, we'll take you to Venerable Allen Fieldhouse. Shaheen Holloway, you've been a lot of places. Welcome to KU. The Hall and the number 9 Jayhawks at 9 p.m. Thursday night on ESPN, and always available for you on the ESPN app. 2 really good ball games and a good one here, Dan. 2-point
really
lead for Penn State
here
with 6 minutes to go.
You know, Penn State's defense has really forced Clemson out to the perimeter, but P.J. Hall has made 2 3-point baskets. That equals his total for the entire season.
Josh Beadle on the floor wears 0 for the Tigers. First time we've seen the redshirt freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. 10 to shoot. Skip for Galloway. He'll launch. Front rim miss. They scramble inside. Funk out of there with the rebound for the Nittany Lions.
Brad Brownell has gone deep into his bench press.
Yep.
Wiggins getting some extended minutes.
11 different Tigers have played here in the first half. This is Cameron Winter with 8 to shoot, working on Beadle. Into traffic, turns and scores. Tough shot for Winter, who's got 8. That's his first 2-point field goal of the game.
And that just goes to show you that it's more than Pickett who can do that. Their guards are big, they're aggressive, and you can't double team because the other guys can get around the perimeter.
Nittany Lions have kind of sized down here, Dan.
Yes,
Here's
they
Shefflin
have.
with the catch on Dredd and fouled by Dredd. That'll be his second. And that's 5 now on the Nittany Lions. Another look at the Winter basket, though.
Well, this is a situation where you can't help. And Shefflin is looking, but he can't go down to help because he's afraid of the 3-point shooters. He's guarding Dredd, and Dredd is an outstanding shooter. And so the way you counter that is you get the ball inside on the other end where suddenly you have an advantage. And the Tigers did so on that occasion.
See Chase Hunter check in for Chauncey Wiggins. And the youngster will get a word from the head coach of the Tigers. All-time winningest coach at Clemson, Brad Brownell. And Shefflin hits them both. He's got 4 in the first half. Clemson to within 2, under 5 to play. Don't forget later tonight, number 3, Virginia and Michigan and Ann Arbor. That should be quite a show. A lot of good games tonight on this ACC-Big Ten Challenge presented by Continental Tire. Funk on the drive. Inside Lundy, the nice catch and score. 7 for Seth Lundy on his 3rd field goal.
And when you have to react like that and sprint at a guy who you know is a shooter, nice job by Funk to put it down and go around.
Beadle, Winter defending. A return bounce for Shefflin. Up strong and scores easily on Lundy. If Penn State's going to risk going small, Dan, Clemson can do that, right?
And that's advantage Clemson as long as they can prevent the 3-point shots.
Pickett against Hunter Tyson. Back for Lundy. 10 to shoot, a 3 away, and good. Seth Lundy with 10. He's averaged 16 and hit 6 of 11 from 3 in their last 2 games. First Penn State player to double figures.
That's really discouraging for a defense.
Here's Tyson. Lundy defends Tyson. Now Galloway.
Need to try to get it inside to Shefflin against Dredd.
Here it is in a double team and a foul called. This is either 2 on Winter or 3 on Dredd. And I think it's Cameron Winter. Here's a good drive by Funk, too.
What draws the defense, and for the rare occasion they don't kick it out, they get it inside. And speaking of going inside, Shefflin has an advantage, and he takes it.
Indiana University South Bend at the age of 25. And his basketball journey is fascinating. And Dan, I thoroughly enjoyed our visit with him today.
What a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And, you know, the Boston Celtics assistant coach, that means he's been in the NBA. He's seen all that NBA stuff. He brings it here.
Yep. And just a terrific hire. And when you think about it, now it sets up where he's got a chance to develop a program, and he's doing it with recruits, but he's also been smart in the transfer portal with grad guys, Dan. I mean, Jalen Pickett, Sienna, Andrew Funk Bucknell, Cameron Winter Drexel, those are all guys that were high-level players in their leagues. Here's Beadle on the drive, pushed it up with the right hand. Bounces away, and now Clemson trails 5, and we're closing in on 3 minutes to play first half.
Wes, we've been talking about Penn State's three-point shooting, but Clemson has just as many threes, 5, in the first half as Penn State. The Tigers simply have not been able to score effectively from two-point range.
Funk a fall-away three.
Now, okay, sometimes you miss a defensive rotation or something, but there's just, you can't guard that.
Yep. And now we got a foul, offensive foul called on Chase Hunter, as he was working through a screen. It'll be his first, third on Clemson here, and another look.
Well, he never stopped.
Right.
Wes, you know, you can't just run into the guy. If you're going to set a screen, you have to be stationary. And he just ran right into Johnson.
Yep. So Pickett plays with Caleb Dorsey, Winter, Lundy, and Andrew Funk, who just hit the three. Here's Chase Hunter defending Jalen Pickett. 8-point lead again for the Nittany Lions. And a hand check foul on Hunter will be his second. Been a tough first half for Chase Hunter now. The redshirt junior, his second. That's the 4th on Clemson. And Josh Beadle's going to be summoned back from the Tiger bench.
He's working really hard because Pickett right there, he just slams him with the body. He's trying to keep Pickett away from the basket. Pickett has done such a great job posting up with that dribble.
Out of the corner, Funk, a shot fake on Hemingway. Bounce pass, Dorsey the catch, and a reach-in foul call. And I believe it'll be on Galloway. It is his second. He is the second Tiger with 2. That's 5 on Clemson.
Penn State has done a really nice job getting the Clemson Tigers to chase. They get that one little step, and then suddenly the ball starts moving around, and the Tigers are behind.
Pickett with Galloway defending on the hip. Turns with the left hand, scores. How many times we've seen Jalen Pickett do it tonight? I think all 4 of his field goals, Dan.
Yeah, well, he's 6'4". He weighs 210 pounds. If you're just going to let him back down like that, he's going to score anytime he wants.
Largest lead of the night for the Nittany Lions, who are on an 8-0 run in the last 90 seconds. Tyson a lob for his buddy Hall, and a foul by Dorsey. 7th on Penn State.
Weston, we sound like a broken record, but look how much space he has. He just backs in. There's not a lot you can do if you don't get any help, and it's hard to give help because he's such a good passer, and you get hit with a 3.
Clemson at the free throw line is just 2 of 3. 1-1 coming for P.J. Hall, as R.J. Godfrey checks back into the lineup, the young freshman from Sewanee, Georgia.
Well, now this is interesting. I think Godfrey is in the game to guard Pickett. And so that'll be effective against Pickett down on the inside. But let's see if Godfrey can stay with him out on the perimeter.
Hall left it on the front rim. 10-point lead for Penn State. 2 minutes to go here in this first half.
All right, so Godfrey's going to guard Lundy. Hunter Tyson now is going to try his hand with Pickett.
A fall away by Pickett bounces out for Godfrey.
Put a little bigger guy on him, bother him a little bit.
Here is Beadle. Josh tried to work in on Dorsey, skips it out for Hall. Hit a couple of threes from out there earlier. Here's Godfrey inside, up through traffic and scores.
Boy, that's not what you call a power move.
R.J. Godfrey's got 2 right at the iron here in the first half for his 4 points.
Well, that's a big bucket for Clemson.
Sure. Stops the Penn State run. Here's Pickett trying to work around Paul. Johnson now slashing through. 10 to shoot. Now Pickett will take the ball with 5 to shoot. Working on Tyson. Fall away. Back rim miss. Beadle collects.
Nice job by Tyson, but a really good job by P.J. Hall to tell Tyson to switch when they had the opportunity.
Beadle with the left hand. Josh Beadle.
He is not afraid. He likes to attack.
4 in a row by the Tigers, cuts it to 6. Penn State's been able to find the bucket when Clemson builds a little momentum here in this first half. Lundy working on Godfrey, and R.J. Godfrey will commit the foul. 6th team foul on the Tigers.
Well, Beadle is noted for his speed, but it's speed, it's athleticism, and it's strength to get that ball in there.
Well, we get a use it or lose it timeout taken with 34.9 to go. Nittany Lions the ball up 6. Knew this was going to be one of those kind of rock'em sock'em games tonight, didn't he?
Absolutely, he did, and he was talking about how impressed he was with Penn State's ability to not only shoot the ball, but to move the ball and to create some matchup problems. But what they have just done coming off the bench with the Tigers, putting Tyson on Pickett has slowed Pickett down just a little bit because he can't back his way in against the taller guy. And you can't do that unless you have somebody who can guard Lundy. And so far, that's been Godfrey.
Yep.
Godfrey really hadn't played all that much this year.
Johnson on the inbounds, 20 to shoot. Here's Clary. Misses with the left hand. Godfrey, the rebound. Beadle will call the Clemson timeout now. So Penn State uses one, as does the Tigers here. Step aside. Well, we're 21.4 from the half. Don't forget there's another ball game underway tonight as well in this ACC-Big Ten Challenge presented by Continental Tire. Great to be with Dan Bonner, West Durham at Littlejohn Coliseum. And kind of an entertaining first 20 minutes here, Dan.
Really an entertaining first 20 minutes, Wes. Each team showing an awful lot of potential. And it's been fun to watch the adjustments that the coaches have made.
Here's Shefflin. He's back on the floor with Godfrey, Tyson, Hemingway, and Beadle. And Clemson wants to take the last shot of the half.
They're playing zone, our Nittany Lions.
Godfrey the catch, working on Dorsey. 3 to play in the half, got knocked away. Dorsey recovers, and the half will end there. Brad Brownell wanted a foul, didn't get it. Halftime, we reached at Littlejohn. 6-point lead for Penn State. 10 points for Seth Lundy, 8 for Jalen Pickett. Lead the Nittany Lions. Penn State a 6-point advantage. Stay tuned. Off to the ESPN College Basketball Studios. A 6-point advantage. Stay tuned. Off to the ESPN College Basketball Studios. Right after you see this. Continental Tire, we welcome you back to Littlejohn Coliseum, and host Clemson trails Penn State 35-29 with Dan Bonner, West Durham. We welcome you back courtside. We expected threes. We got those. But we also got a lot of two-point shots, and in particular, Jalen Pickett and Cameron Winter delivered what we thought they might, too.
Yeah, West Penn State comes in. They average 12 three-point baskets made per game. They've made 6 in the first half. So they're right on schedule. Clemson has made 5 threes. The difference in the game is Clemson has struggled a little bit from 2, and Penn State has not.
Well, a quick check of the stats show you that line and more. The other part is probably the 14 paint points for Micah Shrewsbury's team. That may be a little surprising. And for Brad Brownell, his leading scorer is scoreless at the break.
Well, and that's tough to do. He averages almost 17 points a game, and he hadn't made a field goal. Wes, he missed a couple that rattled in and out. Literally, I think his first 4 shots, that happened to him. I thought he got a little bit frustrated, and he particularly got frustrated trying to guard Pickett down on the inside.
Original starters for both schools begin the second half. Penn State will have the ball. They went scoreless the last 2:23 of the first half.
And here you see that matchup again. They've decided to put Hunter Tyson on Pickett, put the bigger guy on him, make it harder for him to back down.
Clemson tries to switch inside. This is Jai, and Galloway got a hand on the pass back out to Pickett. 16 to shoot for the Nittany Lions.
It's a good thing he got his hand up, because that was a fastball from about 2 feet. It had broken his nose if it hit him in the face.
So Pickett will put it in play right near our location and in front of the Penn State bench. Backing down Tyson again, and got knocked away. A little dig down from Galloway helped.
You got to pick your spots, and he did a nice job that time.
Turnover number 4, and the basket rattled out.
Wes, every shot, every 2-point shot he has taken, that has been the result. Exactly that.
A little rattle around. Kick into the corner. Lundy the fall away. He left it short. Jai tried for the rebound. He couldn't handle it. It will belong to the Tigers. And Hunter Tyson and P.J. Hall making sure they get connected here at the defensive end of the floor a moment ago.
Penn State's defense, for the most part, has prevented the Tigers from getting inside. That is a really difficult shot.
Got knocked to the deck. Nittany Lions the other way. Out of the corner, Winter launches. Backside rebound for Lundy. Pickett sets. Left it on the rim. Jai had a shot at it. Tyson gathers.
Pickett can shoot the three, but as we've seen, Wes, that's not the best part of his game.
So can Tyson, Dan. First points for Hunter Tyson.
Boy, that's a surprise, Wes, that Clemson can be this close in the game with Tyson not having scored.
And you got to figure that somewhere in the neighborhood of about 29 points is scoreless until that bucket there. The answer bounds his way off the shot from Lundy. Clemson to within 3. Hemingway to Hall. Jai defends. PJ with the right hand left it on the rim, and the foul is called. Ron Groover on Keba Jai, the freshman from Centerville, Ohio, his first, and the first on Penn State of the half.
Clemson doing a nice job with ball movement and player movement here. And Tyson is able to get open for that three. That confused the Penn State defense just a little.
P.J. Hall missed the front end of a 1-and-1 in the first half. And the first one here is good. 7 for Hall. Dan, his health at the end of last year was not good. And then as he recovered from the foot surgery and all the rehab, he suffered a knee injury.
Dislocated kneecap.
And at the end of the day, Brad Brownell says we don't know when he'll be 100%, but his toughness to get back on the floor has certainly inspired his team here.
Well, it has, Wes, and this is a guy in P.J. Hall. When he's healthy, he's one of the top players in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but it's without question he is not healthy right at the moment.
Yep. But he's got 8 tonight, and he draws the Tigers to within 1. Jalen Pickett rubbing off the Jai screen into traffic, and it rattles in for him.
Boy, how about he just bored his way inside.
The biggest upset of the night is he's got 10 and not a 3 among them, given his propensity to shoot them at a 40% clip.
Yeah, he shoots at a 40% clip, Wes, but he's not a high volume guy.
Hunter trying to get on the glass. Hall will follow the miss. 10 for Hall.
Another tough miss for Hunter, but if you drive in like that and draw the defense, that's going to create some opportunities for offensive rebound.
Here's Jai. He traveled. Keba Jai shuffled his feet on the catch at the post. And that's going to get Caleb Dorsey off Coach Shrewsbury's bench to replace the young freshman.
Wes, I think the move to put Hunter Tyson on Pickett has created some opportunities for the Tigers. Tyson's happy that it's a traveling violation.
Yep. Here's Chase Hunter. Back from Middlebrooks, who spelled Hall a moment ago. Galloway working on Winter. Hunter thought about it. Now Middlebrooks on Dorsey. Ben Middlebrooks and one. Caleb Dorsey's second, and the second on Penn State, Dan.
Well, Ben Middlebrooks is 6'10", weighs almost 250 pounds. He is one strong guy. And Dorsey, he's the guy who plays in the post when they go to their smaller lineup. He's given up a couple of inches and about 20 pounds.
Tigers in front for the first time since it was 3-2 on the Hemingway three, and now an offensive foul called off the ball on Cameron Winter. It'll be his third. It's the third of the half on Penn State.
Illegal screen.
And Tyson, as Micah Shrewsbury visits with Ron Groover.
He just leans into him. There's not a lot of contact, Wes, but he knocked the player down.
And the bucket by Middlebrooks.
Really
4 in
good.
a row by Ben Middlebrooks.
But really good job by Hunter to get in there and make that pass. You know, just because you're not scoring, you can't let it affect the rest of your game.
Crowd at Little John trying to become a factor. Here is Pickett working on Tyson. Offensive foul. Hunter Tyson's been a difference maker.
He absolutely has. That switch to Pickett has really disrupted the Penn State offense. And this is a move where it's not on the inside. This is Tyson moving his feet to prevent the penetration.
Breaking the action. Clemson.
But here in the second half, he's done a nice job distributing the ball. That's just an outstanding pass. He's such a good three-point shooter. You got to cover him, and with that penetration, nice drop off to Middlebrooks. You can see second in the ACC in assists. But what a catch by Middlebrooks.
Yeah, you could have polled 100 ACC fans about who would ultimately end up being Clemson's point guard. I'm not sure 35 of them would have guessed Chase Hunter when the year started, Dan. But he's been very good at that spot. Hemingway had it slapped away, tried to make the save. Tigers turned it over. 8 in the ball game now for Clemson. 3-point lead for the Tigers. Pickett trying to work on Middlebrooks. Funk back on the floor with Lundy, Dorsey.
They're trying to clear out.
And here's Miles Dredd standing on the right wing. Here's Dredd. 8 to shoot. Back for Pickett and a 3. Front rim miss. Last touched. And Ron Gruber says it belongs to Penn State. Jeff Anderson wants to double check on the clock here. So we're going to take the official timeout. They're going to work on the clock. 3-point lead for the Tigers. But you better get settled in for conference championships Saturday on the family of networks. High noon start. Kansas State and TCU, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 title fight. And then at 4 o'clock, the American takes center stage. Gus Malzahn and Willie Fritz matching wits to determine the champion there. And then the Subway ACC championship game from Uptown Charlotte about 8 o'clock Eastern time, where Clemson and North Carolina will meet. And a 5-second violation off the shot clock reset and the Penn State turnover.
So all that hoo-ha about the shot clock, and it doesn't make any difference.
Yep. 3-point lead for the Tigers in the basketball. Miles Dredd really extending the man-to-man on Tyson. And now to work Middlebrooks on Dorsey with the right hand. 6 for Middlebrooks off Brownell's bench here in the second half.
Well, Wes, the 5 spot, the post player for Clemson, if you combine the 3 guys Brad Brownell has used tonight, they have a total of 22 points on 8 for 10 shooting.
Pickett for Funk. Look at this shot. And a foul called on Hemingway against Andrew Funk.
That is the second time in this game that Hemingway has been called for a foul against Funk on a 3-point shot.
We'll get a look at this. And Dan, it's about catching this cross-court pass, right? Got him in the arm.
Well, you're trying to get out there because you know he's a really good 3-point shooter. But you're right, Wes. You draw the defense and you kick it across the court.
118th collegiate game tonight and the 84th start for Warrington, Pennsylvania's Andrew Funk.
He goes up and he hits him on the wrist before he comes down. He didn't hit him on the wrist while he still had the ball. But the shooter is in the act of shooting until he comes back down on the floor.
Kevin Jai replaces Caleb Dorsey. And Funk now with a half dozen points. This young man was second-team All-Patriot League. 18 points a ball game. He hit all 3 at the line. He's now 4 for 6 at the stripe, and Clemson with a 2-point lead.
And they're inside guys again, and they've done a really good job. Hall has 10, Middlebrooks has 6, Shefflin has 6. Really nice rotation in there. Tyson
against Dredd. Now Hemingway, Galloway, and a hand check foul on Lundy. Second on Lundy, 5th on Penn State. In a 2-point game.
Well, Wes, that's 5 team fouls. There's still 14 minutes and 37 seconds left in this game.
The Nittany Lions don't shoot many period. Funk's taken 6 tonight. That's almost their game average. Here's Middlebrooks working on Jai. Ben turns in, skips out, and 3 seconds. Yep, good piece of officiating by Ron Groover.
Wes, now once you get in there, you have 3 seconds. Now the officials will give you a little bit more time if you get in there and you're over 3 seconds and you make a move to the basket.
Yep.
But if you're in there and you're over 3 seconds and you pass the ball back out, they're going to call that. That's a point of emphasis this year.
Pickett had it punched away and last touched the foot of Jalen Pickett. A double team of Middlebrooks and Galloway, Dan.
Well, Middlebrooks has been doing a nice job when he's had to jump out to help against Pickett. Even when he's had to switch, he's done a nice job moving his feet, and Galloway has been aggressive. See, Middlebrooks jumps out, and he's the one that tips that ball away.
Hemingway. Jai trying to defend the sophomore. Goes to work with the right hand, left it on the rim, got the rebound. And then a foul on Pickett reaching in. And that's going to be the second on Jalen Pickett. 16 foul.
Pickett does a really nice job going down here to help. I thought he bothered Middlebrooks, not able to get it over, and he just got tangled up with Middlebrooks under the basket. Really good hustle, though, by the big guy.
Here's Tyson against Dredd, fall away. 5 second-half points for Hunter Tyson. Clemson lead to 4 again.
So now Galloway is back on Pickett.
In the corner, Dredd hit the side of the glass. Middlebrooks trying to help Chase Hunter. Fall away for his first, no.
Just doesn't have it tonight shooting the ball, Wes.
Dredd, Q's and threes. The miss. Kicked out on the offensive rebound to Pickett. Inside Jai. Skips from Miles Dredd. Pickett with 10 to shoot. Trying to square up Middlebrooks. Runner with a right hand, too strong. Tyson the rebound.
That's really good defense by Middlebrooks.
Tell you what, you can't be shy inside tonight.
No.
You better shake everybody's hand and make sure you get their name, because, wow. Galloway from Middlebrooks, a 3. Back rim miss.
Now, he's got a nice stroke from out there, Wes.
Yep. Now Hemingway sizes up Pickett, or vice versa. Return pass from Funk. And we're going to get a foul on Alex Hemingway, I believe. And that'll be his third. It'll be the second on Clemson. It's going to get us to a timeout. They go to their neutral corners, Dan. It's a 4-point game at Littlejohn. Hey, don't forget, today is Giving Tuesday, a global day of giving, and it's also the start of ESPN's V Week when we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer, and you can make a difference today by supporting cancer research, which is needed now more than ever. If you're able, give now at v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes to cancer research. And for those of us who worked or knew the late great coach of the Wolfpack and his inspiring speech, Dan, the 30th anniversary, hard to believe, comes up in early March.
Impossible to believe, Wes.
Yep. One of the terrific figures in ACC basketball history for sure, and the inspiring fight that he started. There's Cameron Winter, just the second field goal for Penn State in the second half.
Well, Wes,
double figures for Winter.
They've missed their last 6 3-point attempts, so they decide to drive the ball to the basket.
Clemson's got Hall and Beadle back on the floor, and also Chauncey Wiggins, who saw some action in the first half. And Beadle, little soft runner for his second field goal.
Wes, he really likes that little floater in the lane.
Michael Henn wearing 24 for Penn State's come on. The third big that Micah Shrewsbury's run out there in this second half too. And Clary on the drive, and Jeffrey Anderson a whistle against Josh Beadle. It'll be the third on Clemson.
Well, we've seen Pickett get the ball inside, and Pickett's on the bench right now, and that time Winter did. This is just a nice job coming off a screen. That's a shot that Clemson had a difficult time making in the first half.
And Clemson's got 20 bench points tonight. How about that? Dalian Johnson back on the floor. First time we've seen him in the second half, wearing 23 for the Nittany Lions. Winter sizes up a three from deep. 13 for Cameron Winter. That's his third triple of the ball game, and Penn State just like that to within one.
Just rises up behind that screen off the dribble. I thought Galloway did a pretty good job, but there's an illegal screen.
Yep, Beadle's second and the fourth on Clemson.
You know, you got to be careful when you do that handoff, Wes. You've got to get yourself stopped. The guy with the ball hands it off and he keeps going. That's going to be a foul every time. This is what happens.
Yep.
It turns, you have to stop, and you can't turn your body into the defender.
So the turnover sends it back to Penn State, and a chance for the Nittany Lions to regain the lead. Winter again. All the way underneath. Johnson, this young freshman from Haverhill, Mass. And now Clary trying to find an alley. Hall is there and blocked it. That mountain was too high for Kanye Clary.
And that's what that is, a mountain.
Almost halfway home in the second. Here's PJ working on Henn all the way through, and a foul on Michael Henn for the bump.
Now, Clary is a little guy, and they've had some success getting inside with that turnaround jump shot, but not against 6'11" guys. And that's a really nice job by Hall. Not only does he block the shot by going straight up in the air, but he grabs the ball.
PJ making his 30th career start tonight.
Clary's only 5'11", giving up a foot to Hall.
First one's away and good on the 1-and-1. Don't forget, coming up over on ESPN, the ESPN app about 9:30 tonight at Chrysler Arena, number 3 Virginia and Tony Bennett's Cavaliers at Michigan as part of the ACC-Big Ten Challenge presented by Continental Tire. It's available on the ESPN app as well. Second from P.J. Hall as a front rim miss.
Now, Wes, and Clemson has a little bit of an opportunity here to do some business at the free throw line. They only have 4 team fouls, and they are in the bonus because Penn State is at 7.
Here's Winter. Back for Henn. He thought about the three. Step in, foul line, and it rolled off. Slapped around. Clary and a reset for Penn State. Skip pass for Winter. He'll shoot for the lead. Hunter wants a screen. Hall obliges. Chase to the basket against Henn, draws the foul. Michael Henn, his second. That's the 8th on Penn State, and 2 shots here for Chase Hunter.
Well, Hunter is 73% free throw shooter, and he just takes the ball right at Henn. He puts that shoulder into Henn's chest, and Henn is trying to just keep his position. But that's a really good job by a really good guard.
First point of the ball game for Hunter with 9:22 to go, Dan.
And Dredd and Pickett both come back into the game for Penn State.
They're going to size down here.
Yeah, that's where they've had their success.
Hunter hits them both. Tough night shooting for Chase Hunter. Those are his first points of the game. Ian Shefflin, who gave Clemson some valuable bench minutes in the first half.
Yeah, but this is a tough matchup for Shefflin. He's got to try to go up against Lundy.
Yep. Here is Winter against Chauncey Wiggins.
How about Wiggins out there guarding the point guard?
Yep. Hunter draws the foul. He tried to step in on Pickett. Chase Hunter commits his third. That is 5 on Clemson.
You got to move your feet. That time he banged right in to Pickett.
Yep.
And you can receive that blow, Wes, but you can't give it.
Hemingway in, Chauncey Wiggins out for Brad Brownell. Hunter trying to defend Pickett again. Pickett lowered the shoulder, turns and scores. A dozen now for Jalen Pickett on his 6th field goal.
Well, Brad Brownell has a problem because somebody's got to guard Dredd, and that is Hunter Tyson. And that leaves Chase Hunter against Pickett, and that hasn't worked well all night long.
Tigers trying to set something here on the perimeter. Shefflin with 10 to shoot. Bounce pass for Tyson. Double team coming. Hunter fall away from the baseline.
Oh. That's a tough shot. You can't defend that any better than Penn State just defended it. Tyson's made some big plays here in the second half.
Tigers by 4. Hunter Tyson, all 7 of his points in the second half. Chase Hunter trying to defend Pickett, keep him in front. And a travel on Dredd.
Dredd is a little bit frustrated, Wes. We said he has only attempted 1 2-point shot all year, and that time he tries to get by Hunter Tyson and travels with the ball. Speaking of Hunter Tyson, he's not only doing the job on the defensive end, that is a very tough shot with one of the best defenders in the Big Ten right in his face.
Yep. Lockdown Lundy did all he could, right?
Absolutely.
Under 8 we go here. Dylan Hunter on the floor here to replace Chase. Hemingway a catch and shoot.
That's what he does. Well, you could see that coming. He made a great cut all the way across the lane.
7-point lead, biggest of the night for the Tigers. Inside Pickett draws the foul on Beadle. And Clemson's eventually going to empty all their wares trying to stop Jalen Pickett. But they're getting shots to go down, and they're defending at the basket. Tigers with the ACC-Big Ten Challenge presented by Continental Tire. Virginia Tech a home win last night. Pittsburgh a very impressive road win at Evanston against Northwestern. We're underway with 3 ball games at this hour. 2 in the second half and 1 at the first half break out in Champaign.
Well, this has been a very entertaining, interesting basketball game, Wes, as we have watched each team make adjustments to what the other teams are doing well.
Yep.
And particularly the Clemson defense in the second half, they have limited Penn State to 1 for 8 3-point shooting.
And 2 shots here for Jalen Pickett, who is 83% on the year. 10 of his first 12. These are his first free throws of the night.
Well, Pickett and Lundy are the 2 guys who go to the line the most for Penn State. And Wes, you mentioned before, they only make an average of 7 free throws per game.
And he only got 1 of the 2. And they are now 5 of 8 tonight at the line, or the Nittany Lions.
Now, the other thing is that the Clemson offense has been very good here in the second half.
Tyson thrown pass just beyond, and he gets their up and under on the reverse. 9 all in the second half for the grad student Hunter Tyson.
Now, even when it doesn't look perfect, they're still able to convert.
Lead is to 8, largest it's been for Clemson. Lundy, and a whistle and foul will be ticketed to Shefflin here. It's his first. It's the 7th on Clemson.
And that is the 3rd time the Tigers have fouled a 3-point shooter.
Yep. And Seth Lundy to the line for the first time tonight to shoot 3. And here is the tail of the tape with free throws and where they stand with both these teams. First one good from Lundy.
Well, Wes, you can see now Penn State has 6 free throws. Clemson only with 7 tonight. But the Tigers have sort of made up for that because each team has 7 3-point baskets.
And Lundy very comfortably has hit his first 2. He's got a dozen tonight. A year ago, he had 3 games of 20 or more. He hit 64 threes. And the only reason I share that number with you is he had 15 coming into tonight. He's added 2 more He's on pace to rattle the cage of that 64 about February. Hits all three, cuts it back to a 5-point Tiger advantage. Backdoor cut, Hemingway the layup. Pass from Tyson.
Well, Funk was trying to anticipate Hemingway doing that cutting like he did before for a three, and Hemingway surprised him and went back door.
Hemingway's got 11, first double-figure game of the last 5. Backdoor cut, layup, Funk at the other end. So well done by both schools.
Funk does the same thing to him. That's just great movement without the basketball. And a really good delivery on the pass.
Andrew Funk's got 9, 5 in the second half. Here's Tyson up top against Lundy. Rolls back into the lane, kicks out for Hunter. Chase on the drive with the right hand. Shefflin tried to keep it alive, last touch by the Tigers. So an exchange of backdoor cuts here, Dan.
Well, you're right, and Hemingway just fooled Funk. And Funk this time, he cuts backdoor. Hemingway got caught up a little bit on a screen.
Under 6 to go. Pickett to Winter. Hunter fell down. Back for Dredd. That's an air ball. Lundy tried to save it, couldn't.
Now, Dredd comes in, Wes, as a 53% free throw shooter. He sets the screen. Normally, he's automatic, but he shot an air ball there.
And now all of a sudden they're trying to
wipe up the floor.
Well, and Hunter went down out here on the right wing right before the Dredd 3 attempt. And so little housekeeping takes care of that.
Well, Clemson's offense has been a big key for them here in the second half, and they've got to keep it going. They've been able to get better shots than they did in the first half.
Pickett picks up Chase Hunter. Pretty good matchup here. Hunter, the up and under, won't go. Shefflin tried to keep it alive. Dredd kept it alive for Penn State.
That's great defense.
Sure is. We've seen really good examples by both schools at both ends tonight. Pickett rips it in the corner to Dredd. He'll take off baseline.
No chance he was shooting that ball.
Jalen Pickett on the drive. Pushed it up, draws the foul. Foul is on Shefflin. It's his second. It's the 8th on Clemson.
And that's a problem when Shefflin has to switch out on Pickett, because Shefflin simply can't move his feet fast enough to stay in front of him.
So Pickett, who's got 13 in the ball game, Shefflin's got 3 fouls. 8 on each school. Pickett drops the free throw in. Dan, this guy was the 2020 MAAC Player of the Year after being the 2019 Rookie of the Year for the Siena Saints. And then transferred to Penn State last year and continued the pace.
Well, he's been very impressive tonight, Wes. Every time they've needed something, he's been able to produce.
15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
That's a nice play by Shefflin to save that.
Hunter crosses over, spot up. Won't go. Boy, a tough night for Chase Hunter from the floor.
He's 0 for 10.
Pickett out of the corner, Lundy the 3. 6.5, 16 in the game for Seth Lundy, and we're tied at 58. Hunter trying to find a seam here. Hemingway to Tyson, and Lundy commits the foul on the drive. 3rd on Lundy, 9 on Penn State. So 1-and-1 coming for Hunter Tyson.
And there's Pickett. He gets into the lane, forces Tyson to come and help, and that leaves the wide open Lundy. Nice response by Penn State. A 7-0 run, Wes.
Yep.
And just we're talking about how they haven't made any threes. They made 3 free throws after being fouled on a 3, and then Lundy just hit a 3. Boy, these guys keep the pressure on you.
They can reduce the margins pretty quick. Tyson takes his time at the line. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good. Hunter now 19 of 23 at the line in this young season. 12th in the ACC in free throw percentage at 82% coming in.
And obviously, Wes, in a game like this, these are all very important opportunities.
Looking for his 11th point, all of it here in the second half, and he gets it. 2-point lead.
And so the problem for Clemson is the problem they've had all night. What do you do with Pickett?
Galloway draws the assignment this time. Now gets some help from Hemingway. Pickett burrowing in, kicks out, Winter. Step out 3, spins out. Hemingway the rebound. Boy, Cameron Winter, that went halfway down.
Well, but Clemson did a nice job forcing him to change spots. He wasn't able to get the catch and shoot. He had to dribble and move. That ball was all the way down. No.
Tyson got it.
Boy, that's a confident-looking shot, isn't it, Wes?
14 all in the second half for Hunter Tyson. 3.5 to go. Tigers back in front on 5 in a row. And we'll get a foul there, I believe, on Tyson. That'll be his first. So we'll have free throws for Penn State when we come back. But Hunter Tyson's put the last 5 in a row on the board for Clemson here tonight in the ACC-Big Ten Challenge. He had 5-point lead, and Hunter Tyson has been the story of the second half for Brad Brownell's club.
Wes, I thought at the end of the first half he changed the defensive tempo of this game when they put him on Jalen Pickett.
Right.
And I thought he was very disruptive. And then, that's amazing. He's got 14 points in the second half. And Wes, in addition to those 14 points in the second half, he's also got, and of course this is in the game, not just in the second half, but he's got 7 rebounds, he's got 3 assists, he's got a steal, and he has continued to do stellar defensive work.
Yeah, the 7 rebounds, 3 have come here in the second half. The other thing, too, is the Tigers' leading scorer and the 8th best scorer in the ACC is hitless in 11 field goal attempts tonight. Chase Hunter's got 2 points. They're all at the free throw line. And the first free throw for Cameron Winter of the night is good.
Wes, it's hard to believe that Clemson has a lead with 3 minutes and 28 seconds left in the game, in a game when Chase Hunter is 0 for 11 from the field.
Yep. Second for Winter is good.
Boy, Winter has made big contributions.
3-point game. Chase Hunter on the floor with Hunter Tyson, Ian Shefflin, Brevin Galloway, and Alex Hemingway. Shefflin with a strong move on Dredd with a left hand, left it short. Dredd the rebound.
I think they've gotten away with a walk there at the start of that move. But I think that's a good play. You got to attack Dredd on the inside.
Here's Pickett looking for Lundy. Dredd gets it to him. Step back 3. Lundy the rebound, got his own miss and scores.
And Shefflin didn't block him out, Wes.
8.5 for Lundy, 18 in the ball game. Penn State to within 1. We're in under the 3-minute mark.
Where Lundy just chases the ball.
Shefflin calling for it with Dredd defending. And with 14 to shoot, ball got knocked away by Dredd after Lundy rebounded his own miss here.
You know, Shefflin just didn't block out. I mean, he kept his feet, but he just didn't block out.
Here's Hunter. Entry pass for Shefflin. Turns with a right hand. And a foul called.
Now, he got hit on the elbow. Micah Shrewsbury thinks he walked.
Miles Dredd's third. Dan, that's 10 now with 2:24 to go on Penn State. So 2 shots on every common foul, and Ian Shefflin, who's 2 for 3, to the line first. Six points, 3 rebounds tonight for the sophomore from Loganville, Georgia. You know, all those injuries we talked about in the first half that P.J. Hall has suffered, the silver lining last year and early in this year has been Ben Middlebrooks and Ian Shefflin's participation rate, right?
Absolutely. They've been able to get minutes they might not have otherwise received.
2-point game. Pickett driving on the baseline. Galloway there. Skip out three. Dredd. Nope. Not his night.
Tyson hasn't had Chase Hunter hasn't had a very good night, but neither has Miles Dredd. They've sort of canceled one another out.
Brad Brownell will use a 30 here with 2:03 to go. And Miles Dredd makes his way to the Penn State bench knowing he had a look to put his squad in front. Hunter's had looks tonight. Dan, you're right. Both of those shooting stars have not been able to knock down shots yet in the ball game.
You know, Chase Hunter came in as a 60% three-point shooter, and he's missed both of his three-point attempts tonight. Dredd came in 53% from beyond the arc. He's now 0 for 5.
Yeah, Miles Dredd had hit 23s in 7 ball games. Chase Hunter had 18 threes in 7 ball games. But both are hitless tonight from behind the arc. If you're Brad Brownell, Dan, you had enough 1- and 2-possession games a year ago to last you a decade. Micah Shrewsbury had enough 2-point games to last him a coaching career in year 1 at Penn State.
Absolutely. They were 0-9, Wes, in games decided by 2 points or fewer. And then you come into this year, and what was their only loss? To Virginia Tech by 2 points.
Yep. So 2:03 to go. Here's Hunter against Pickett.
Well, they've gotten big baskets from Hunter Tyson here in the second half.
And Chase Hunter with 15 to shoot. Now Dredd defends. Hunter on the drive, put it up. Didn't go, but draws the foul. That's 4 on Dredd, I believe. .148 to go. A couple of free throws for Chase Hunter.
Hunter just takes the ball hard to the basket. He got bumped a couple of times. You know, I mean, that was as close to going in as anything he's had tonight.
Yep. Redshirt junior knocks the first one down. A year ago, he averaged 9 points in conference play. Kind of a slow start with some injury issues. Hits both here. But he finished strong in conference play.
Yes, he did. He's a good ball handler. He's a good passer. Obviously, he can shoot it, even though he struggled tonight.
4-point lead, 100 seconds to go. Funk a fall away. Front rim miss. It grazed off. Shefflin had it. Tyson rolled to the deck. Did he hit the end line? I believe he did. It'll stay with the Nittany Lions. And a fresh 20 with 90 seconds to play.
Boy, Shefflin just can't hang on to the ball.
Yep.
And he rolls out of bounds.
Yep. Nice piece of officiating there, Dan.
Well, that's really a tough break for Clemson. Shefflin and Tyson bounced off one another, and they weren't able to control the ball.
Galloway defending Pickett. Pickett turns. It rolled off the iron. Shefflin finally gathers.
That's a shot Pickett has made all night long, and a really good rebound by Shefflin. Nice defense without fouling.
4-point game with just ahead of a minute.
Clemson trying to milk the clock. This is fine as long as you score.
Hunter for Tyson, wide open. Got it. 7-point game. Pickett on the drive and scores.
Micah Shrewsbury was trying to call a timeout. Before Pickett pushed the ball up the court.
So Jalen Pickett drives the floor to cut it to 5.
And I think the issue here is did the clock stop when it's supposed to? When it's under a minute, it's supposed to stop when the ball goes through. What a big basket by Hunter Tyson.
A huge shot.
I mean, good grief.
So 44.6 left.
They're going to put 45.4.
So 0.8 of a second back onto the clock.
But in a game like this, 0.8 of a second could be critical. Tyson wide open.
Team played with a lot of poise on that possession too, Dan.
But watch Lundy push the ball. Excuse me, Pickett push the ball up the court. And it's supposed to stop when it gets within the cylinder, all the way down. Used to be it had to be all the way through the net, but that's not. It's got to be in the net.
So Penn State has brought Mahaffey onto the floor to pressure the inbounds pass. Now Galloway's got to dribble out. Comes to a stop.
Going to call timeout.
And Brad Brownell punches that timeout with 38.6 left because there was about 3 seconds left for Clemson to get across the midcourt line.
Well, and now what that does with that timeout, it costs you timeout, but you buy an extra 10 seconds.
That's right. So Clemson has 1 left. Penn State has 2 left.
Right. Clemson has 1 left, Wes. And if they wanted to, they can hang on to the ball in the backcourt again and call another timeout.
So 5-point lead for the Tigers. How about this, by the way? 8 days, a week from tomorrow night, Penn State's next game is Michigan State at State College. Clemson's going to turn around and get Wake Forest on Friday night. Deacons, by the way, are in Madison later tonight as part of this ACC-Big Ten Challenge. It's almost like launching conference play now, right?
Well, you know, when you're going to play 20 conference games, that you sort of have to.
Yep. So the Nittany Lions are going to draw some backcourt pressure here on the inbounds pass. Mahaffey will defend Galloway.
We've got another 10 seconds to get it across.
And here is Hunter for Shefflin. Ian will break the timeline and is fouled.
And it's going to be 2 shots.
And it's on Pickett. It's his 3rd. So a pair of free throws here for Ian Shefflin, who tonight is 3 for 5. And it's a 5-point game. First of the 2 is good. So it's still a 2-possession game with 34 seconds left. 6 in the game for the young man from Grayson High School in Loganville, Georgia.
Wesson, think about this. You got P.J. Hall, you got Ben Middlebrooks, but the guy you have in at the end of the game is Shefflin. And again, Wes, is a 2-possession game.
Yep. Here's Winter. He's going to drive it. And Hunter got a hand in there, and Hunter came from out of bounds to inbounds, was the first guy to touch it, and therefore it stays with Penn State.
Well, he can do that if he gets both of his feet on the ground, but he didn't. He jumped from out of bounds. This is a really good block, and he just jumps from out of bounds. He's out of bounds and jumps back in. Wes, if he doesn't go out of bounds intentionally, as long as he gets both feet back in bounds, he can handle that ball. But he didn't get both feet back in bounds.
Well, the second half for the Tigers has been sparked by the grad student Hunter Tyson, Dan, and here in the last few minutes, he's been terrific.
Well, he sure has, and we showed you that he didn't score at all in the first half, although his defensive effort at the end of that half against Pickett I thought was important for Clemson staying in the game. But in the second half, he's had open shots, he's had contested shots, but he's made them all.
17 in the second half. 6 of 8 from the floor. You see the 8 rebounds and 3 assists as well.
He was 0 for 2 in the first half, so he's made all 6 of his shots here in the second half.
And the game is 6 points with 23.5 to go here. We will send you to Madison when we're done tonight for Wake Forest and Wisconsin. Louisville, Maryland, Syracuse, Illinois also underway. Georgia Tech at Iowa. And, of course, Virginia and Michigan tonight, the late start over on ESPN from Ann Arbor. And, by the way, there's a whole calendar of games tomorrow, too.
Including that blockbuster we showed you with 4 ranked teams going out. One of the Ohio State at Duke and North Carolina at Indiana.
Yep. So Pickett is going to put it in play. In the corner, this is Dredd. He misses. They battle inside. Lundy had it, and a foul on Shefflin. 4th on Ian Shefflin. 10 on Clemson. So 2 free throws now.
When Dredd misses another one, Wes.
Yep. 6-point game.
I don't think.
And it's Lundy who's shooting the free throws here.
Well, he's the guy I'd want at the free throw line.
Yep.
I don't think Penn State will have too many games this year where Dredd goes 0 from beyond the arc.
No, they won't. And likewise Clemson, right, with Chase Hunter?
Yes. $18 tonight for Dredd. Make it 19. So now Dredd comes out and Mahaffey goes in because if they can't get a steal, they got to look for a foul.
That's it.
Dredd has 4 fouls.
5-point game. And the second one good. So 20 now for Dredd. 10 in each half.
You know, I think if it was me, I'd try to make Shefflin handle the ball and then give him another chance from the free throw.
And he's at the other end. Here's the lead and the catch by Galloway.
Boy, that's a dangerous pass, but it is a perfectly placed pass.
Tyson rolls by, and when he does, as Winter commits the foul, it's his 4th. Tyson rolls by and looks at Galloway like, I got it to you.
I mean, that ball left his hand. I thought, oh, my heavens. This has to float over that hand. That is a heck of a pass.
Galloway just missed the front of the 2. Brevin playing in his 108th college game tonight. 75 at the College of Charleston, 25 last year, and he missed the free throw there.
That's an 82% free throw shooter, Wes.
4-point game. Here's Winter. He's driving for the 2, and Galloway fouls him. 3rd on Galloway with 12.4 left. 2 shots for Cameron Winter.
And all of a sudden, the Tigers cannot keep the Nittany Lions out of the lane.
Yep.
This comeback.
And Penn State's extending the game along the way here.
Yes, and they're getting back in the game from the free throw line.
Sure are. Something they rarely do. First one from Winter is good.
And Wes, you know, Clemson has helped because they've missed some free throws.
That's it. Cameron Winter knocks the free throw down. Penn State is 15 of 18 in the game. They're 14 of 15 at the line in the second half, Dan. This to cut it to 2 now. And he does.
You know, they've gotten some loose balls. They've gotten some rebounds that Clemson had the chance to get.
Tyson in a double team, and there's the Penn State foul with 10.6 left. And the foul is on Pickett. It's his 4th. You see the Clemson number. They came in at almost 75%, but they're 13 of 21 tonight.
And here's another 82% free throw shooter at the line.
Yep. And Hunter Tyson, quite frankly, needs to make both to make it a 2-possession game.
Absolutely.
So here is Tyson, who's been terrific for Brownell's team in the second half. First to the 2. Nope. Front rim miss.
Wes, that is
and here is Dredd.
That is 3 consecutive missed free throws by 82% free throw shooters.
Now, Miles Dredd has not scored tonight. It's a 2-point game with 10.6 left. Penn State has 1 timeout, as does Clemson, to make it a 3-point game. Made it. Here is Winter.
You win the game 93% of the time. If you don't foul, you win the game 94% of the time. And what that means is you know, you just got to play good defense and not make mistakes.
Given their acumen, though, and given the artillery that Penn State plays with, Dan, does that change your logic at all here?
I think in this situation, if you foul, Wes, and I'm a big believer in this, if you foul, you bring losing into the equation.
Got it.
You know, yes, you foul, he goes to the line for 2 free throws, but if he makes the first one, misses the second one, and they make a 3, you lose the game.
The Nittany Lions have threes from Lundy and Winter in the second half. They are just 2 for 15 from behind the arc.
And Dredd is not in there to shoot a 2-point shot.
No, he's not. Now, Clemson has a lineup on the floor that they'd be comfortable switching 1 through 5 here. Going to Pickett, he'll catch, skip, Funk for the tie. And it's good.
Banked it in.
5.2 left. Inbounds, here is Hemingway. 3, 2, Hemingway for the win. We're going to overtime. Andrew Funk, who has hit a couple of incredible threes tonight, hits one to send it to overtime. We are tied at 71 at Littlejohn. The extra session is next. A dozen tonight for Andrew Funk, but his last 3, his second of the night, comes in the waning seconds to get us to overtime.
Well, Wes, if you're not going to foul, you have to defend the 3. You don't have to worry about the 2. Pickett took the ball inside, and that doesn't make any difference at that point because the 2 is not going to tie the game. And somehow Alex Hemingway, I don't know how he got so far away from Funk. Now, to be perfectly honest, it's a fall away banked in 3.
No. We have that, or Hall's got 13.
He and Jai are talking to one another.
So 13 for P.J. Hall, and the last bucket put Clemson ahead here in the overtime.
I was going to say, I was going to be really surprised if P.J. Hall got a technical for contact.
Here's Winter. And is that on Hunter? It is. And that'll be 4 on Chase Hunter. So there was the exchange.
Yeah, and the officials jumped in and stopped that.
So 17 tonight for Cameron Winter, including 4 in a row at the line. And a chance to tie this up after the 4th foul on Chase Hunter. And the roll, friendly for Winter.
You know, for a team that doesn't get to the free throw line a lot, they're 17 of 20 from the line tonight.
Well, let me tell you this. In the second half and the overtime, they are dynamite because they were 15 of 16 in the second half. They are now 17 of 18 in the second half and overtime, Dan.
Well, I think he can point to the free throw line just as much as the three-point line.
Yep. 73 all. Here's Hemingway. Galloway. Brevin on the drive. Skips it for Hunter's 3. And it drops in. First field goal of the night for Chase Hunter with 4:08 to go in the overtime.
Weston, of course, it bounced on the rim before it went in.
Comes in averaging almost 17 a game. He's got 7 now.
How's that for confidence, though? You're 0 for 11. You're open. You still take it.
Keep teeing and swinging, my man. Pickett out for Winter. And Hunter's going to be called for his 5th. And Chase Hunter fouls out of the ball game with 3:45 to play in the overtime and 7 points.
Well, Hunter trying to defend the 3, but then he, right in front of the official, he just moves his body into the offensive player.
Finishes 1 of 12 from the floor.
Wes, and that play, you have to consider that in light of the fact that that's one of the points of emphasis for officiating this year. They don't want to allow that kind of contact.
So here is Winter, who just hit 2 free throws a moment ago, back to the line after Hunter fouled out. And Cameron Winter true at the line.
He's really been impressive. And here you got to respect the 3. He gives that fake and then just uses his strength to turn the corner. And if you're Hunter, you got to understand you got 4 fouls. Let that one go.
Winner. Cold-blooded at the line.
That's a word for it.
8 for 8, all in the second half in the overtime, and Clemson still clinging to the 1-point lead. Beadle, who replaced Hunter a moment ago.
What a big spot for Beadle.
Yep. And played 10 minutes in the ball game. Here's Galloway at the foul line. Brevin Galloway now with 9 on his 4th field goal.
And Galloway is a guy throughout his career. He's been able to score.
Pickett with Beadle defending. Beadle plays with 3, make it 4 as he's ticketed there.
And he's just pushing him. You just can't do that.
Well, and here's the other thing too, Dan. We talked about this tonight. Pickett's size and physicality, he forces you to make a decision, right? As a defender.
He does, Wes, but if you he's 20 feet from the basket. He's out by the 3-point line. You don't need to push him here. You know, move your feet, stay in front. The more he dribbles, the more chance there is he might make a mistake. But to put him on the free throw line, and if you're going to foul him, you got to foul him closer to the basket than that. 18 for Pickett. Penn State is 5 for 5 at the line here in the overtime. And the second one good. Make them 6 for 6. 1-point lead again for the Tigers. Well, Dredd is in the game guarding P.J. Hall. Let's see if they try to get the ball to Hall because Dredd has 4 personal fouls. Tyson with the entry. There is Hall with the left hand. Left it on the front rim. And now Penn State a chance to take the lead. Now Dredd put that big body there. They're trying to run something for Dredd maybe here, huh? Yeah, Dredd's only 6'4", but he's 235. He did a nice job holding Hall away from the basket. 14 to shoot for Pickett. Hall trying to keep with him. Pickett will take it on the drive. Burrow around, fall away. Got it. Tough shot. Jalen Pickett now 4 in the overtime, 21 in the ball game. Penn State in front. Boy, what a hard-fought game this is. Timeout, Brad Brownell with 2:21 to go. Jalen Pickett has put 4 in a row on the board. Penn State 6 of 6 at the line. And now the Nittany Lions with a 1-point lead. State in front, 79-78. We're in the overtime here, but it was the final minute of regulation, Dan, where the thing really turned. Well, Clemson was ahead 69-62 with 51 seconds left in the game. Penn State closed on that 9-2 run, and they were able to do it because of Clemson's struggles from the free throw line. Yep. Chase Hunter's fouled out of the ball game. Josh Beadle's filled that gap. And now the Tigers looking to regain the lead with Galloway. 10 to shoot for Hunter Tyson. And now Hall to work, and a block on Dredd. He fouls out. Miles Dredd is going to finish the night scoreless with 2:07 in the overtime. And this is a really nice job by Hunter Tyson to get the ball inside. You know, Dredd trying to match up. He's only 6'4". He's got that 235 pounds. Got tangled up there with Hall. See. And now again, going to the free throw line. Hall 3 for 5. PJ's got 13 in the ball game, 2 in the overtime. And a chance to tie and potentially put Clemson back in front. First one good. 13 now. Wes, there's still over 2 minutes left in this game. There's a lot of time. Yep. Just think Carolina and Alabama played 4 of these jokers on Sunday. Second one. No good. So we're locked at 79. And as Dan Bonner just told you, 2 minutes to go. Well, if you're the Clemson Tigers and you're looking back on the game, if you lose the game, you can point right to the free throw line. Yep. No question. Here is Pickett with Tyson trying to stay in front of the Penn State star. Fall away.
good. What a tough shot. Jalen Pickett has got 6 in the overtime and 23 in the ball game.
And the last 2 shots he's made have been over P.J. Hall. They were very, very difficult chances.
81-79. Feels like Clemson might need a 3. Off mark for Brevin Galloway. And now with 1:20 to go, Dan, the Nittany Lions can dictate the finish.
I thought they had a chance to throw it inside to Hall. And Galloway elected to go for the 3.
Pickett playing with 4.
Clemson needs a stop here.
Yep. Pickett's been tough. Here's Winter. 8 to shoot, working with Beadle. Cameron Winter on the drive, the fall away, front rim miss, run down by Beadle. Tigers don't have numbers.
Must score for the Tigers in this situation. And the clock has just stopped.
And Lee Cassell and Ron Groover.
Well, it's the same thing that happened in the first half. The clock stopped. I was actually watching at that time. At 47.4 seconds, it just stopped.
Yep. So,
you know, after the last time it happened, Jeff Anderson came over and said, "Hey, the next time the clock stops, let us know." And I said, "I didn't realize it stopped. You guys did."
Yeah. So, let's take a look at this and see what we can surmise.
Now, Beadle runs it down. And watch as it gets to 47.4 seconds. He's just going to stop. And Lee Cassell blew the whistle almost immediately.
So somewhere in the neighborhood of 42 and a half.
Yeah, I would say so. 4 or 5 seconds.
Yep.
And you dropped that down 4 or 5 seconds off the shot clock as well.
So that would take the shot clock to 19. Game clock to about 42. Boy, Nittany Lions have 3 with 20 or more tonight.
Whew.
Pickett, Cameron Winter, and Seth Lundy. And tell you what, this game was determined, though, on a 3 ball by the Bucknell grad transfer, Andrew Funk here.
Well, he's fallen down, and he banks it in.
Yep. What a pass by Pickett, too.
And Hemingway just got caught up on a screen there.
Funk's got a dozen.
But again, Wes, everybody's going to talk about that play, but it's the missed free throws that allowed that play to happen.
That's it. So 45.7 and 23 on the clock.
So each team with 25 free throw attempts, but
7 points difference in the conversions. And a terrific second half in overtime at the line for Penn State, who is 6 of 6 at the free throw line in the overtime. After they finished the second half, 15 of 16. Micah Shrewsbury just said both of us need better clocks. Here's Beadle out front. That's a 3 ball. It's offline. And last touch by Penn State.
And there's under 2 minutes in the game, so the officials can review it if they want to.
Yeah, it looked like Pickett and Hall were inside, but Jalen Pickett has kind of come to the bench thinking that, hey, they're going to find out that this belongs to Clemson and we'll move on.
Well, Pickett was the guy over there. He certainly knows who hit the ball last.
Yeah, Hall might have hit it, but Pickett's left hand, I think, is the last player to touch it. Come to think of it, you and I were watching overtime in the ACC-Big Ten Challenge last year with Wake Forest and Northwestern, Dan.
Yep. And I think Pickett is the last one to touch it. And interestingly, Wes, I think he touches it with his left hand.
Yep.
You know, he hit it with his right hand, and Hall may have tipped it, but then the ball is going to go back off the left hand of Pickett. And the thing is, it was called Clemson's ball, so they have to have indisputable video evidence to overturn it, and they do not.
That is exactly right.
And as you say, when Pickett came back to the bench, he knew very well.
Yeah, Pickett was kind of saying, hey, I think it was off my hand. So 20 to shoot, 38.7 to play.
But, Wes, it's not surprising in a key play in the game who's in the middle of it for Penn State. It's Pickett.
Yeah. Boy, fun player to watch, huh?
Oh.
Beadle got to get it in bounds. Does to Galloway. And we got a foul on Jai off the ball against Hall.
And he's hanging on to Hall because Hall, I think, had a lane to the basket. And now here we go again. Clemson at the free throw line.
Bottom line is, PJ makes both of these. There might be just 2 possessions left in this game, Dan. Because you're at Penn State, you want to wind it down as far as you can go, don't you?
Well, you do, but you also don't want to pass up a good shot.
14 tonight for P.J. Hall. First one good.
And all your strategy now is dictated by whether or not he makes this one.
That's it.
He's 5 of 8 from the line tonight.
Second one. Got it. And here is Middlebrooks to replace P.J. Hall.
Middlebrooks is in there for defensive purposes.
Yep.
Middlebrooks is a little bit, at this point, with Hall being not 100%, Middlebrooks moves a little bit better.
Tied at 81 here. Winter against Beadle. Winter on the drive all the way in. Right hand takes the lead. 6 in the overtime and 23 now for Cameron Winter.
Well, if it's not Pickett that's doing that back down, it's been Winter, particularly here in the second half. And I thought the Tigers played pretty well defensively. Again, these guys can really shoot the 3. You have to be conscious of that. I think Middlebrooks, he kept looking back at Jai. And I think, if I'm Middlebrooks, I'm more worried about Winter than I am about Jai. But he elected to stay with Jai, and so they're able to make the basket.
20.7 to go. And Brad Brownell,
I think he's going to take a timeout.
Has taken the timeout. And Dan, the question here becomes, if you're Clemson, you're at home. Are you looking 2 or 3? Or are you looking the best shot?
Well, I think you're looking at the best shot, Rhett. But the key here for Clemson is you're behind. If you were tied, you would hold the ball for the last shot.
Right.
But since you're behind, you have to take the first good shot that's available to give yourself some time in case you miss.
So you see Clemson's got Hall, Tyson, Beadle, Hemingway, Galloway on the bench. And Micah Shrewsbury's got Penn State huddled up. Dredd has fouled out. Winter and Pickett will be on the floor with 4. That's important to remember with Clemson at the offensive end of the floor as well. The Tigers have Beadle on the floor with 4 fouls.
P.J. Hall is back in, Wes, as you mentioned. And so he is an option inside to try to tie the game. And Hunter Tyson has played very well. He just missed his last 3. But he is also a guy who can give you a 3-point shot. I'm thinking you're going inside the Hall for the 2, or you're going to try to get either Tyson or Hemingway open for a 3.
And if you're Clemson too, Dan, knowing that Penn State has the youngster Jai on the floor here at the end, you might give yourself a little cushion with the clock too on the shot. You don't want to wind this all the way to 0, do you?
No. You take your first good shot.
Yep.
And then if you miss, I think you gotta foul Jai.
That's correct.
You can't foul any of these guys. They've been lights out.
8 of 9 at the line, but he's scoreless tonight and hadn't been to the stripe. So Lundy is going to drift into the backcourt.
Well, Jai is also a freshman.
Yep.
So yeah, he's 8 of 9, but how many free throws has he taken in overtime to win the game?
Correct. Inbounds to Beadle. Lundy drops back.
Okay, you got to move.
Here's Tyson now, 15 seconds. They're going to set the screen for Hemingway. Looks inside for Hall. Backing down Jai with a right hand and scores. Clemson bench wanted a foul. They didn't get it with 4.2 left.
And Micah
tied at 83.
Micah Shrewsbury thinks they need to add some seconds back on the clock.
So P.J. Hall on the entry pass.
This is really a well-designed play right here. You got to get out and cover the three so there's nobody there to cover Hall.
So it is 4.2 and we play.
Really does a nice job getting position. And there was contact there, but the main contact was it was like his clavicle up against the chin of Jai. So they're trying to figure out how much.
They're going to put 5.7 on the clock.
All right, well now, Wes, of course, if you're Penn State, you want to take the last shot, but it's not like you have 15 seconds to try to get it. You got to get the ball up the court quickly.
And Clemson's got to go defend the 94 feet here.
Clemson's got to defend the 94 feet, and they have to do it without fouling.
And everybody on the floor except the freshman Jai is three-point capable, although Keba missed one earlier tonight. He's 1 for 4 from behind the line this year.
If you can, you want to try, if you're Clemson, you want to make Penn State catch the ball headed toward the Clemson basket. You don't want them to catch the ball running toward their own basket.
Here's Pickett. Front court with 3, 2, launches at the horn. Off the back iron, and we go double overtime tonight at Little John.
And you were the one who had to mention the 4 overtimes.
83 all. Come on, Dan. It's the ACC-Big Ten Challenge. 5 more minutes at 83 all now. With Clemson and Penn State. Great to be with Dan Bonner, Wes Durham. Our coverage of the ACC-Big Ten Challenge presented by Continental Tire. How did we get to overtime number 2? Well, we got to overtime period tonight because Andrew Funk hit a bank shot at the end of regulation, Dan.
Yeah, falling down in front of the fans over there, hits a bank shot. Hemingway got hung up on that screen by Dredd, so Dredd didn't score, but that was a great screen.
So how'd we get to the second overtime? Well, P.J. Hall had something to do with it. So did Brevin Galloway. And
well, Hunter made his 1 basket of the game before he fouled out. And down at the end of the overtime, the first overtime, Pickett was outstanding. He hit a couple of shots over P.J. Hall. Winter, of course, he's played extremely well. He has 23 points. This is really a well-designed play. You got to guard Hemingway on the outside. You get it inside to P.J. Hall. Now, I'm telling you, Pickett had a really good look, but was not able to make the shot, so the game stays tied.
Penn State went double overtime a year ago against Iowa. It's been 8 years since Clemson's gone double overtime. 2014, a 77-73 game against Mark Turgeon in Maryland.
Well, Wes, and again, we pointed out before the first overtime, the fouls are going to be an issue.
Yep.
The 2 stars, Pickett and Winter, for Penn State, both have 4.
Here's Hemingway, catch and shoot from the top, and it's good. First points in overtime, either 1 or 2 for Alex Hemingway. He's got 14. Tigers jump to a 3-point lead. And that ball last touched by Penn State, says Ron Groover. You think about Hemingway, Dan, pretty cold-blooded off the top here, isn't it?
Well, I'm telling you, Messi is really good coming off that screen with the catch and shoot. He barely had time to get his feet set.
Yep.
That is a huge basket.
3-point lead. Here's Hall at the top. Hemingway skips. Fall away, Galloway. Hall tried to keep it alive, tapped it to Winter.
Wes, again, I think that was the wrong shot. Hall had position inside.
Winter with a high dribble. Boy, lucky Pickett ran along and caught it. Pickett playing with 4, trying to tie. Cannot. Tyson the rebound.
Hunter Tyson has really
been terrific.
Had a great game. Defensively, offensively.
Beadle trying to get Hall integrated in the half-court set. Beadle, the scoop, got knocked to the deck. Jai the rebound. So Clemson empty the last 2 trips. Now Penn State another crack at a tie.
Clemson empty West, but neither one of them was a good shot.
Pickett rolling on Galloway. Look at the runner by Funk. 14 now for Funk. His first points in the extra sessions. Penn State to within 1.
Well, I think you got to ride P.J. Hall here on the inside.
Tyson. Entry pass for Hall. P.J. going to take Jai into traffic, and we get a reach.
Who's that on?
And the foul, I believe, is on Jai. It's his 3rd. It's going to send P.J. Hall to the line to shoot a pair. He had 7 in the first overtime. He's got 18 in the ball game to go with 9 rebounds. I'm sorry, with 3 rebounds tonight. Hunter Tyson has 18 points and 9 rebounds. PJ to try and push it back to 3. First one good.
Boy, he made some big free throws at the end of that first overtime.
By the way, the cat's out of the bag. PJ stands for Paul Jr. Took about 3 years, but we finally got to the bottom of it. 87-85. And bought a lot of rim, but gets it.
Well, West were nothing if not relentless.
We just try to keep providing relevant and important information. Funk, Lundy. Here is Pickett again, driving the ball, skips it in the corner. That's Lundy for the tie. Terrific shot. Seth Lundy's got 23 now. That's his 4th 3 of the night. Locked up at 88. Pickett, Winter, and Lundy each with 23 for Coach Shrewsbury.
And how good has Pickett been passing the ball?
Yep. Here goes Tyson on the drive, blocked by Jai. It'll stay with Clemson with 11 to shoot.
This is created by the dribble penetration, and Galloway just gets too far into the lane. P.J. Hall was in there. Galloway didn't need to be.
Here's Beadle. 7 to shoot. Looking for help. Got to get rid of it. Here's Hall with 2. Fall away. Got it. Big money ball from P.J. Hall. 2-point lead for the Tigers. 2:08 to play. Here is Pickett squaring up on Tyson. 6 to shoot. Block, Beadle.
Get the ball to P.J. Hall at the end of the shot clock. He takes his time. Really good patience. And then Beadle, he's really an athletic guy.
Funk for 3. It hit the top of the glass before it then dropped off the rim.
Well, now at the end of regulation, that's the one that went in the basket.
Yep.
I mean to tell you, Wes, he landed in their bench.
Yeah. He's got terrific shot balance, doesn't he?
Oh. And the one thing you have to say about these guys, there's nobody out here who's afraid.
Nope. Here's Hall at the top. Picked up on the dribble, one to go to Tyson. Galloway now for Tyson against Lundy. Hunter rolls with a right hand. Got the roll. Dramatic 7th field goal of the night for Hunter Tyson, who's got 20. The lead is 4 now with 77 seconds. Pickett on the drive. Feeds Jai. Got blocked. Here is Galloway with Beadle. Brevin the layup. Pickett ahead quickly. 6-point lead, a minute to play in the double overtime, and Shrewsbury called a timeout before the Lundy 3.
How about Josh Beadle? 2 really big blocked shots.
Hunter Tyson didn't scratch in the first half, but he's been something in the second and the 2 overtimes. Clemson's got a 6-point lead. Penn State the ball. When we come back, we're in the second overtime of this ACC-Big Ten Challenge game. And Dan, if you had Josh Beadle in blocks tonight, I don't know what the over-under was, but he's delivered here in the second half in the overtimes.
Well, when the Clemson people talk about Beadle, they talk about his speed and his athleticism and his instincts. And, you know, he's a guy, he's not shy, he's not afraid. And that was the first of his 2 blocks. The second one we showed you, but those were both huge defensive plays in this game.
Yep.
Now, if you're a Clemson fan, before you get comfortable with the fact that they're up 6 with 59.5 seconds, we'll just remind you they were up 7 with 51 seconds left in regulation.
Winter and Pickett stay on the floor, both playing with the 4 fouls. And here is Winter on cue, trying to drive Beadle. And fouled by Beadle, and that will be his 5th. That's 4 for Beadle. It will be 4. So 4 for Josh Beadle, and 2 free throws for Cameron Winter.
Well, and if it's not Pickens, as we said, it's Winter wearing him out inside. And again, if you're Beadle, you simply have to move your feet, try to stay between Winter and the basket, and make him shoot over you.
Winter is 8 for 8 at the line tonight. 4 for 4 in the overtimes, and making 5 for 5 in the overtimes, and 9 for 9. And look at the free throw numbers for Penn State. They finished regulation after a 15 of 16 second half. They were 6 of 6. They're now, Dan, 23 of 26 in the ball game at the free throw line.
Wes, and coming in their first 7 games, they made a total of 49. So
Made them both.
They've made almost half as many free throws in this one game as they did in the previous 7.
Mahaffey in the ball game. He'll defend the inbounds pass from Galloway. Here's Tyson against Lundy. Spins out of the double team and fouled in the backcourt by Evan Mahaffey, the freshman from Cincinnati.
And I think that's what Mahaffey was in the game to do.
So that'll send Hunter Tyson to the line to shoot 2. Tyson's got 20 tonight with 9 rebounds, but is just 3 for 4 at the free throw line, and that was in the second half.
Well, again, it's very eerily similar to regulation. The question is, can Clemson make the free throws here?
First one down. And here's Middlebrooks for Hall.
And this is a defense-offense kind of substitution. Middlebrooks is going to come in to play defense, and the first chance they get, they're going to put Hall back in on offense.
Tyson ready. Second one good.
Yes, it's significant that Beadle has 4 personal fouls because Penn State is going to attack him.
Kick out. Johnson a 3. How about that? 5th 3 of the year. 2nd of the ball game for Johnson. Down to a 3-point game. Here's the lead. Tyson the catch. A double team arrives. Out of it to Middlebrooks. And a foul quickly by Funk. His first of the night. But Middlebrooks is just 1 of 4 at the line. Well,
Wes, we talked about the fact that Penn State has 7 guys who are shooting 39% or better, and Johnson is one of them.
Yep.
And again, that's the way they want to play. You get the ball inside, kick it out for the 3.
6 for Johnson. That was his second 3 of the night. Here's Middlebrooks first, and it's good. Pretty confident stroke for a guy who was 1 for 5 prior to that.
Wes, and I thought Hunter Tyson, he started to call a timeout and then changed his mind.
And Middlebrooks hits them both.
And I think that was a good decision.
5-point game inside 30 seconds. Here's Winter with Beadle in the 4 fouls. Kicks it out. Pickett the 3. Long rebound. They scramble for it. Hemingway's got it.
Well, you got to get rid of it.
He tried to, but he was fouled first, and it was Johnson that commits the foul. So Alex Hemingway's going to go to the line.
Wes, and that ball comes off, and Penn State had a chance at it. They had 2 blue shirts at the ball.
Hemingway misses the first.
Hemingway 6 out of 7 from the free throw line coming in, so he didn't get there very often.
Trying to push it to 6. Second one true. He's got 14 in the game. 18 seconds left. Penn State will be looking 3s. Winter bumped and fouled by Tyson. Dan, I'm okay with that. Because they're going to shoot free throws. Clemson's going to have a chance at the possession.
Well, Wes, I'm actually not okay with that.
Okay.
And Tyson, he just got caught up on the screen and stumbled and committed the foul.
Winter's been perfect at the line.
But if they're going to score, Wes, you want to make them score and have the clock run. Now, of course, as soon as the ball goes in the basket, the clock is going to stop. But here it stops. Lets him go to the free throw line.
25 for Winter and a miss.
Okay. So now I'm okay with that foul.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely. That's why second guessing is always so accurate. Now, if you're the Clemson Tigers, you got to make sure if he misses, you get the rebound.
Second one good by Winter.
And there'd be a lot of pressure.
Mahaffey will be on the ball. Galloway to put it in play. Does to Tyson. And Hunter fouled right away by Lundy. That's his 4th. So Lundy joins Pickett and Winter with 4. And Hunter Tyson back to the line. He's working on a career high tonight of 22. And all of it has been in the second half and the overtimes.
Well, and Wes, the interesting thing is he's shot the 3 well. He's rebounded the ball. He's been good on defense. But here in the second overtime, he's been the guy they're trying to get the ball to when they throw it in bounds.
First of the 2. Gives Clemson the century mark.
Wes, but this is the big one here.
Yep, I agree with you. Clemson has put Dylan Hunter on the floor. So Tyson's the biggest guy out there by a long shot for Brownell. But this to take it 3 possessions, right?
Yes.
There it is.
And Wes, all you have to do is defend the 3 now, and that's why the smaller guys are in the game. You don't care if they get 2.
Out front, Winter with 6. Here's Pickett. Misses the 3. Tyson kept it alive. Johnson's got it. And the horn sounds. And Clemson wins a hard-fought game in double overtime, Dan.
Boy, that's some performance by these teams, Wes. Wow.
ACC chalks up 1 in 2 extra periods of free basketball. Great to be with Dan Bonner. Thanks to our producer, Rick Bagby. Off to Madison.